When I not just wanted, but needing healing from my past, God provided. Not just through his own spiritual healing, but through a ministry called The Healing Place and the faithful ladies there. And when I wanted to start a podcast to serve women just like you listening, but I had no clue how to serve and create content that is actually helpful, God provided my then mentor, Stephanie Gass. And when I needed accountability on food habits and another set of eyes to tell me, like, with no shame, by the way, hey, this is a better alternative, or here's a great way to get in your protein, God provided through a health coach from a business called Better Health by Accountability. And when we think of provision, we always think of the financial part of it. But what about the different resources and countless blessings that he has placed in front of us? Yes, they can be something that you did pay for with your own finances, but was it something that God helped you to grow and even mature in a way you never thought you could? I want to share what one of our membership clients had to say about the recent 30-day Holy Habits Challenge that I ran. And client Jay wrote this for one of her daily gratitudes, and it just stood out to me, and I hope it really resonates with you. But she said, I'm grateful that I'm growing in various aspects of my life and growing in ways that I thought were out of reach for me. But God hears my prayers, and I'm so thankful for this season of change. So today we're going to talk about what's possible for you and within reach for you. Hey friend, and welcome to the Daughters of the King podcast. I'm Victoria Garris, and if you've ever felt overwhelmed, inconsistent, stuck in survival mode, or like you're constantly falling behind, you're in the right place. Here, we believe that God has called us to live with purpose, steward our time well, and faithfully walk out the life he has given us, not through perfection, but through daily obedience. Each week, I'll share biblical encouragement, practical habits, mindset shifts, and simple strategies to help you grow in your faith, build consistency, and create a life of peace with God at the center. So grab your coffee, open your heart, and let's become the diligent daughters God created us to be. Welcome to the Daughters of the King podcast. I remember feeling stuck and like every other mom on Instagram was doing better than me. I'm going to be honest, that's where I was at about 2 years ago. She had her workout routine down, her house was spotless, she had children who weren't hard to manage, that's what it seemed like. She seemed like she had direction in her day-to-day. And I wondered, will I ever get there? Will I ever reach a place where I'm confident as a woman following Jesus and taking care of my home and my child/children? And the weight of all these questions were very heavy on my mind and my heart. But I prayed and I prayed and I prayed about all these things, all the practical things in the day-to-day. And I know you hear a lot about making time for God and making sure you, quote, don't lose yourself to motherhood, end quote. And you want to improve. You want to be the mom who is found faithful in taking care of the blessings God has given her. But you ask yourself, where is the time? How do you actually do all the things? How do you not lose your mind? Well, I'm telling you there is a way, and it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, because guess what? Life is constantly changing, and how I managed my time when I was a single mom looks way different now as a wife and a mom. But you know who never changes? God. And there's peace in knowing that he's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and forever. And so I want to share with you my top 3 tools God provided to transform my mindset, my home, and my habits. Because some of these things I did pay or invest in, but it's because he showed me that where I choose to spend my time and my resources, financial resources, he will use those things for his good and his glory when I'm doing it out of a heart posture of gratitude and a genuine, pure intention to grow closer to him, to grow as a mom, to grow as a wife, to grow as a friend, and to really grow as a follower of Jesus, just wanting to reflect him in every area of my life. And so I want to tell you the first one, and it is the Dream Planner. And this planner, y'all, I have no other words but amazing. It's a Christian planner with verses for every week, and the founder of the company, Polly Payne, she's awesome. She does a seasonal refresh every 3 months. So for winter, spring, summer, fall, there's a whole section that you get to fill out, and she does a live stream where you can actually like do it with her, which is super helpful. And I'm currently on my third dream planner, and she just gives you room to dream and prepare for the season ahead in a way that gets it all out of your mind and your brain, and you get to put it in one place for the year. She also has goodies whenever she's launching the newest planner, so I'm always on the lookout for that, and I will have the link in the show notes to her website. And I am not endorsed by any of these things that I'm sharing with you. And not all of them are paid or, an investment you need to make. But they're just ways that God really, He used them to stretch me. And He used them to help me get to the place where I am today. Because if we think about it, we are halfway through 2026. The day this episode comes out, it will be July 1st. And we're halfway. You've made it. And I posted about this in our free community, but just think about how much you've grown and think about what God has in store for you. Like, what's next? You should be excited about it, anticipate it, grateful for it. And I hope that's where you're at. So the second tool I want to share with you is community. And whether it was free or paid community, whether it was online or in person, God used the people around me to be encouraged and inspired that He can do great things, not just in my life, but those around me. And we live in a world where you can connect with people who are walking the path that you pray to be on. And I think that's amazing. I think that is something that is so incredible about our day and age. I know there's, the cons and the downside of social media, but one thing I really love about it is that I find people who inspire me, and I find people who bring joy to my day, maybe through like a small clip or a podcast. And don't get me wrong, I still need to be mindful of, how much time I'm spending on my phone and things like that. But I think it's beautiful how you can share your story, your journey with people all over the world, and God will use that. And so I see it as a positive. And of course, you can't forget the in-person part too. Really stay connected with the people in your church or friends that are really close to you, family that is dear to you, the ones who push you, encourage you, and aren't afraid to tell you the truth. One thing I love about my husband and one of my very close friends, they both are just honest, and in such a way that, they both love Jesus, but they want good for me. Like, I assume the best of them when they're sharing something hard with me. And I think that that is such a beautiful relationship to have, whether it's with a spouse or with a friend or with a family member. My sister and I are the same way. Like, her and I, whether it's in person or virtual, free or paid, God uses community in powerful ways. And I always love to learn from the people around me. I love to learn from my clients. And I just love to learn from people who, know more than me. I'm not afraid, and you shouldn't be afraid to be around people who have more experience than you, who, are more spiritually mature than you. That's probably my favorite, is being around older Christian ladies who have lived a lot on this earth and have so much wisdom from their walk with the Lord. So pursue community, wherever you're at and whatever season of life you're in, and pray and ask the Lord to bring that to you if you feel like you're struggling with that right now. So moving on to the next tool God provided for, my Apple Watch. Y'all may think this is silly, but seriously, I love this thing. And if you don't have one, definitely put it on your Christmas list, save up for it, or whatever smartwatch maybe you've been eyeing. But I'm serious, this little gadget is such a game changer, not just for like fitness, but for like daily, practical, day-to-day things like timers and tracking your steps if you're someone to do that. And I like to track my workouts, but I teach so much about using your phone as a landline, that tip where you leave your phone down in your purse, like away from what you're doing, so you can focus. And I get notifications on my watch. So if I really need to answer a phone call or really answer a text message, then guess what? I'll just go to my phone after seeing it on my watch, and it cuts out that distraction of always having my phone on me. And, some days are better than others, but I've had the same watch for 4 years now. And I'm actually someone who's proud to say, like, I've had this thing for a while because I'm such a, like, I will use what I have until it's gone. Like, I will use my car until it's completely dead. I will use my water bottle until it's, not usable anymore. This watch, just, I am so big on stewarding, meaning taking care of what you already have before you go out and look for something to buy, because I think so many of us get caught up in, I need the newest this, the newest that, and well, I haven't used up what I already have, so I can just go get a new one or whatever. And so really sticking to that belief that I am to steward what I've already been given, I take that really seriously. So I want to share a bonus thing or tool, I guess, that God has provided. And this one's a little intangible, like you can't, it's not a thing, but it is the wisdom and knowledge of others who have achieved not just a level of success in an area, but wisdom in that specific area. So, for example, when I worked with my health coach a while back, this was like years ago, she completely helped me to see that I can have a healthier relationship with food and actually say no to, impulsive junk food eating. And she helped me to see what swaps I can make and gave me suggestions. And having her in my corner, just really checking on me was the type of accountability I never had before in my life. I didn't even know that was possible, to be honest. And it felt scary at first because, I didn't really know her super well, but she never shamed me. She just nudged me in the direction that I had told her I wanted to go in. And she was more like a mirror versus, someone who's just like looking at you and telling you what to do. And so that brought me a step closer to the kind of woman I was praying to be. And that investment that I made into that time, health coaching and whatnot, it pays off even today. I truly believe that because I took time to really take care of that, years ago, that over the years, like, do I have moments where I want a sweet treat? Of course. But like when I'm really focused and dialed in on my nutrition and, feeling good about what I eat, I know that I can say no to these things and that there's other options. Whereas before it used to feel like it was an all or nothing thing. Like, oh, well, you either have the fries or you don't. And it was like, no, there's different things you can do. Like there's always a third and a fourth option. Like sometimes there isn't, but most of the time there's a third and a fourth option that you just can't see because you get so stuck in a certain mindset. And so the verse I want to share with you about wisdom, which is something that God provides, because the Bible does talk about wisdom so much in the book of Proverbs. Again, I will always read a proverb a day because it is just the most helpful thing you can do. Of course, getting in God's word is the most helpful thing you can do. But Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, and it says, getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do, and whatever else you do, develop good judgment. And so whether God gives you wisdom through this podcast or any of the tools or resources I shared with you, or, through a friend, whatever it is, ask him how you can incorporate what you learn from that, the wisdom you gain from that into your life. Because it's one thing to get wisdom, but it's another thing to apply it to your life, and asking God even for, the knowledge, the know-how on how to apply that wisdom he gives you will change so much, not just in you, but in your situation, people around you, etc. And so before I go, I want to ask you one question. And what if 8 weeks from your life right now didn't feel so chaotic anymore? What if you woke up knowing exactly what mattered that day instead of immediately feeling behind? What if spending time with God wasn't another thing on your to-do list, but it became the anchor that gave you peace throughout your day? And what if you stopped ending every week thinking, I'll do better next Monday, and finally become the woman who keeps the promises she makes to herself and to God? What would that look like for you? Because that's what Diligent Daughters Academy is really about. it's not about creating the perfect morning routine. It's not about checking boxes. It's about becoming a woman who is confident that she can faithfully steward or take care of what God has entrusted to her. A woman who isn't constantly overwhelmed. She isn't ruled by procrastination or perfectionism, but she has peace in her home because she has peace in her heart. And she's a woman who follows through. A woman who knows how to stay rooted in Christ even when life feels busy. And that's the transformation we're going to build together in the academy. So, over the 8 weeks, I'll walk alongside you as you create simple, sustainable habits that fit your actual life, not someone's highlight reel on social media, not that 20-year-old influencer whose life looks nothing like yours, but you're going to receive coaching, accountability, practical tools, and a community of Christian women who are pursuing the same goal, becoming a diligent daughter of God. And so I truly believe that God has used people, community, and wisdom throughout my own journey, and he still uses those things today. And maybe this academy is one of the ways he's answering the prayer you've been praying. If your heart has been saying, Lord, I don't want another cycle of starting over. I want peace. I want consistency. I want to become the woman you created me to be. Then I want to invite you to take the next step. So you can join the free community using the link in the show notes. And inside there, you're going to find a pinned post with an exclusive invitation to Diligent Daughters Academy. As a free member of that community, you will receive $100 off tuition. That is a special offer that I'm running until July 10th. Enrollment also closes July 10th. And I want to add that I got feedback from some ladies who were interested, so I've added a monthly payment plan just to make things more accessible to you. And so you can decide to pay in full or do the monthly payment plan, whatever works best for you. So we will begin this journey together July 6th. Again, enrollment closes July 10th. And so imagine looking back 8 weeks from now and thanking God that you finally said yes instead of waiting for someday. I love to walk alongside you. I'll see you inside. Thanks so much for listening. And I hope to see you in Diligent Daughters Academy. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to my mommy's podcast. Can you please follow and leave a review so that more moms like you can find it? Bye!